Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. So not only do we have Legendary potentially suing Warner Brothers, which has now been widely reported, I covered it yesterday, we now have filmmakers absolutely slamming Warner Brothers and directly insulting HBO Max as the worst streaming service. Unbelievable. Actually, not really, to be perfectly expected. This goes to show in great obvious detail that what Warner Brothers are doing here is just trying to promote HBO Max. They don't care specifically about film, they care about their streaming service. And it's not necessarily Warner Brothers, but it's absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, AT&T, their owner. And this is them, I guess, kind of just laying their stake in the ground. This is what we're going to do from now on. Or at the very least, you know, making some headway for it. You know, you better believe that if those movies do well on HBO Max, they'll just stick to doing it. That's all they're going to do. Even though they said, oh, you know, it's a one-year thing, them putting all of their films on HBO Max. So this is fascinating, absolutely fascinating. This is via the Hollywood Reporter. I'll leave a link down below, but also linked down below are my awesome Xenomorph Christmas sweaters. They come but once a year. I sell them for a very limited time. I think this will probably be the last year I do them, and then we're going to get some brand new designs in for next year. So grab them whilst you can. There's a Teespring link down below, or just underneath every single video. Also, ladies and gents, I'm still crowdfunding for my second film, Breaking Lights, a psychological horror film. You'll find the GoFundMe as well as a pitch and synopsis down below in the description box. But that being said, let's dive into it, shall we? So this one's very specifically Christopher Nolan. But like I say, this is the broader thing here. This is absolutely unequivocally just showing us how Warner Brothers, AT&T, are just trying to protect HBO Max. Now, they have been floundering. Their subscriber base has not grown anywhere near what they need it to. And they're more than willing to take huge financial hits. Well, in the case of Godzilla, Godzilla vs. Kong, as well as Dune, or Dune, because people keep having a go at me. Those movies wouldn't actually cost Warner Brothers anything, because that's why Legendary are taking Warner Brothers potentially to court, because they paid 75% of the production budget. So, you know, Warner Brothers doesn't really lose anything by doing that, but potentially has a lot to gain. I can't see that going particularly well, but let's dive into it. So, to many insiders, Warner Media's blindsiding of talent and their reps with news that it would send 17 films directly to HBO Max in 2021 felt like an insult. And absolutely it would. What a lot of people don't, you know, what a lot of people need to keep into account here is that filmmakers, so directors, producers, all of the talent in the film, the actors, would be in their contracts directly. They would have a share of the box office gross. What box office gross is going to happen when they're shown on HBO Max? And the minute they are shown on HBO Max in blistering 4K, they are going to be ripped and available for piracy all over the internet. There's not going to be much, is there? Let's be honest. People will absolutely, without a doubt, just download them. You know? People will just sail the high seas. Arr. So, you know, a lot of people are going to be really annoyed about this who have worked on these films. And this is going to really make them question whether they want to pitch stuff to Warner Brothers in future. But it also opens up a fascinating opportunity for other studios. It is the case of like, hey, well, you know, Warner Brothers is now doing this. Come to us. Come to us. We'll make your film, because we won't put it on a streaming service. So you're going to have something interesting, like another type of bidding war between studios. So again, Warner Brothers and their HBO Max platform, AT&T. Legendary, the guys who are potentially suing them, they're going to be looking at that and going, well, you know, that sucks, but let's use this as an opportunity to get better franchises. They can absolutely do that. Because again, according, you know, all of these talents, you know, the actors, directors, producers, whatever, are going to be looking at the landscape and going, well, why would I release something with you, Warner Brothers? Why? When I can go off to Legendary, or I don't know, Universal, whatever, and they're not going to put it on their streaming service. Why would I? So you may start to see a decline in Warner Brothers' big franchises moving forwards. I mean, of course, they've got DC and things like that. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they stick to this plan that we don't see a decline in their sort of output. Now, furthermore, in this article, it says, for many in the movie business, producers, directors, stars, and their representatives, December 3rd, 2020 is a day that will live in infamy. And this is Christopher Nolan, who has a good relationship with Warner Brothers, bearing in mind, and he is calling them out. So he says, some of our industry's biggest filmmakers and most important movie stars went to bed the night before thinking they were working for the greatest movie studio and woke up to find out they were working for the worst streaming service. That is epic slam dunk. Oof. And he said, yeah, this is in a statement direct to the Hollywood Reporter. Now, Christopher Nolan would continue and say Warner Brothers had an incredible machine for getting a filmmaker's work out everywhere, both in theatres and in the home, and they are dismantling it as we speak. They don't even understand what they're losing. Their decision makes no economic sense, and even the most casual Wall Street investor can see the difference between disruption and dysfunction. Because that's the other thing, ladies and gents, is a lot of people think, and I believe rightly think this, is that Warner Brothers or AT&T's decision to put all of their movies on HBO Max, that announcement there was looking to bolster HBO Max stock. That's what a lot of people think. Because they're not going to get any money from this. You know, subscribers, maybe a few, but HBO Max isn't anywhere else in the world. It's only in the States. So they're not going to get that much from this. And again, it's naive to think that the moment it's on HBO Max in the States, that it's not going to be on the internet afterwards. It's incredibly dumb to think that. So a lot of people just believe that they did it just for stock purposes, which I can believe. Now, anyway, on that now infamous morning, Ann Sarnoff, whose ungainly title is Chair and CEO of Warner Media Studios and Networks Group, and Warner Brothers Film Studio Chairman Toby Emmerich, called the heads of the major agencies to drop a bombshell. Warner's was about to smash the theatrical window, sweeping its entire 17-picture 2021 film slate onto its faltering, again because it's crap, HBO Max streaming service, debuting them on the same day they would open in whatever theatres could admit customers. And that's the thing, right? Is that the whole issue with HBO Max, they released it too soon, way too soon. So they didn't have anything lined up for it. Anything they did have lined up for it wasn't scheduling in its second season. So like Raised by Wolves, for instance, a Ridley Scott HBO Max original, whatever they want to call it. That was released. Not released anywhere else in the world. It's only just now got to the UK. I've watched it all. I'm not an HBO Max subscriber. And I bet you there's many other people like me. And it's exactly the same thing. They released it too soon. HBO Max was dropped way too soon. They were trying to compete with Disney, and it was a dumbass move. You blew your load too soon, Warner Brothers. Absolutely. And it is absolutely a faltering service. It's a dive bomb. Surprisingly, to some in the industry, sources say that the idea was the brainchild of Warner Brothers COO Caroline Blackwood, who, looking at a relatively weak 2021 slate, saw an opportunity to avoid the humiliation of potentially bad grosses while currying favour with streamer-obsessed higher-ups. What is weak about their 2021 film slate? Godzilla vs. Kong. You've got Dune. That's going to be epic. What? The Suicide Squad. What's weak about this? The original Suicide Squad grossed loads of money. It was a piece of crap, but it still grossed loads of money. And people are amped for James Gunn. What are you talking about? Anyway, the instant response in Hollywood was outrage and a massive grinding or girding for battle. Warner's has made a grave mistake, says one top talent agent. Never have this many people been this upset with one entity. And that's the thing. A lot of people are not going to be happy. Like others, he had spent much of the day dealing with calls from stunned and angry clients, and that swooshing sound you hear, it's the lawyers stropping their blades as they prepare for battle. That Warner's was self-dealing in shifting these movies to its own streamer. Perhaps, or that the company acted in bad faith. Some talent reps say the decision affects not only profit participants, but others who have worked on films, as the movie might affect residual payments, like I said at the start. They expect and hope that the guilds will get involved. The Writers Guild of America declined to comment, because they're just being pussies, basically. The Warner's move poses big, maybe even existential questions. How do theatres survive this supposedly one-time, excused by the pandemic move? Genies are hard to put back in the bottle, and no one believes Warner's intended this to be temporary. Exactly, that's the thing. So Warner's was the quintessentially talent-friendly, filmmaker-friendly studio, says one agent. Now Warner's isn't the first place, second place, or third place you would want to go for anyone. Hence why you've got big balls like Christopher Nolan saying, nope, you can suck it. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, madness. Yeah. So we get one agent who represents major Warner Brothers talent saying Toby's passion is only about managing up. So that's to do with Toby Emmerich. So people are really annoyed with him directly. As if anyone would believe he had any control over the situation, says one producer with a major Warner property. Toby probably had a really bad weekend. Not that I feel bad for him. So people are trying to shirk responsibilities off to AT&T. And it might be, but it doesn't matter. The end result is, no one's going to want to work for you, Warner Brothers. Who cares? You know, that's it. It's done. Dear, oh dear. Much of this outrage will surely be mitigated if Warner Media is prepared to write big checks to all the profit participants in the films that have been moved. It's a critical time for them at the highest level to make this right with the talent. But they can't, because the service itself isn't pulling in money. So they're not making profit off of it. Like, it's a lose-lose situation if you do that. Absolutely. Wonder Woman money, basically. You know, no one's suggesting that the company's going to get Wonder Woman money out there to people. And they're not going to get that type of money in subscribers anyway. It's madness. And then there's this, right? So at minimum, Warner Media has opened the door to arduous negotiations with the major agencies over compensation for multiple profit participants in 17 movies. That's a lot. Did the Warner's numbers crunchers in projecting the cost of premiering its entire 2021 slate on HBO Max factor in the cost of widely anticipated legal challenges? Industry insiders believe Warner Media may have opened itself up to those, especially as it is selling the movies to its own streaming platform, where none of the profit participants has had a chance to figure out what Apple or Netflix might have paid for opportunity to stream their projects day and date. Allegations of self-dealing are almost sure to follow, absolutely, and many think Legendary will be the first to file a legal challenge. A lot of people are rumouring that now. The company fired off a previous lawyer letter after Netflix offered something north of $225 million for the rights to Godzilla vs. Kong, which has seen its release date move from March to November to May. Though Legendary financed 75% of the movie, Warner's had the power to block the sale and did. Legendary asked whether the studio would then give it a deal to stream the movie on HBO Max and got no clear answer until its executives woke up one December morning to find that the movie was going day and date on the service without the benefit of a negotiation. Warner's, what are you doing? Oh my god. That's insane. Legendary's even more expensive picture, Dune, is getting the same treatment, and the other companies that finance Warner's movies, Village Roadshow and Bron, are also said to be aggrieved parties that might end up going to court. I don't think there's anywhere that this really ends particularly well. I'm so baffled. And then there's the talent. Dune director Denis Villeneuve is said to be among those who felt most strongly that a traditional big screen release was essential for his film. Yes. Chu, along with Lin-Manuel Miranda, went through an intense courtship with multiple suitors for In the Heights, and who had turned down a huge Netflix offer for Crazy Rich Asians because he cherishes the communal theatrical experience. Told an associate he was shell-shocked. This is bad move. People are slamming Warner Brothers left, right and centre like it's a corner shop hoe. Sources say Warner Media insiders have been hoping that Disney will follow its lead and shift its slate to streaming. But Disney, which had $7 billion grossing movies last year, isn't about to do that. They're trying to make other studios do the same thing so they can go, well, look, everyone else is doing it now. Shush. Yeah, it is moving some films to streaming, as it did with Hamilton and Artemis Fowl, likely Cruella and more, but an agent notes that the way Disney has handled the shift stands in stark contrast to what Warner's has done. They didn't do a unilateral thing, he says, adding that studio executives made preemptive calls to talent and their reps that helped smooth the process. Basically, they didn't let people find out in the press, like Warner did. Disgraceful. So it's not good. Not good at all. What do you think? What do you think? Let me know down below. This is not good. Really not good. So anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.